Was this book meant to be satire? Because I feel like this book was meant to be satire. Okay! Yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's all I have to say, because oh my god. What is going on? Summer is almost over. That's a very scary thought to have, knowing how fast time has gone lately. So I figured we could celebrate the end of summer by reading some slasher novels because, you know, it's still slasher summer in my eyes. I know right now it's the end of July and this video might realistically go up closer to probably like August, September, but I figured we could still just read our slasher books to be safe because I still want to read my slasher novels. Tee. Yeah, because again, it's slasher summer to me. So I have a couple options that we can run with here. So the ones that I know I have on me are ones that I know I talked about two of these. Well, no, three of these. Well, no, I did talk about two of these in my previous video. So the two that I'm thinking I might start off with are these two. So this is Slasher Summer, which is the new debut slasher novel by Elle, Chen, and then this is Summer Camp for Slasher Victims by Matthew Mercer. I might just start with this one, because I know this one's been on everyone's radars recently, and then I'll probably switch over to this. And then I also do have this book, Not Your Final Girl by Mikayla Randolph, and I think this is kind of I think this is supposed to be like a more meta slasher that's supposed to be more in conversation with the idea behind a final girl. I'm very excited to see what this one is about. And then I also do have coming in the mail, because I ordered it back I think a couple months ago, but I did order Blood on the Cottage Floor, which is supposed to be like a new slasher that's actually I think supposed to be releasing tomorrow. So I'm very excited to get that. I'll go into more detail about that one when I finally get my hands on it, but very, very excited to read that. Yeah, you know what? I feel like I might just go ahead and start with Elle Chen's Slasher Summer. It seems short enough that I could hopefully pound my way through it in a quick manner. So I need something fun. I need something quick and easy. And yeah, I need to commemorate the end of Slasher Summer the best way possible. The only way I know how to, which is by reading and digesting horror movies. Ha! Okay, I'm rambling. Can you tell I've just been... Oh my god. Yeah, don't mind me. I've been up since 5:30 this morning, so I'm kind of losing it a little bit. So I'm going to shut up and start reading this because I know I have train duty tonight and then Sunday, so I want to take some time to get some reading in before I start getting myself ready for work tonight, and then I'll bring this with me when I actually am working on the train, so I'll try to document as much as I can, and we will go from there. Happy Slasher Summer, everyone! Good morning, everyone. Happy last day of July. I cannot believe we're already here, but that's what happens when time flies. Alright, so I need to get going to work because I am running super late, but I wanted to give an update about Slasher Summer. So I started reading this last night and I'm already almost at the 100-page mark. I'm at page 94 of this right now. So let me kind of break down what this book is about. So this book, hi Foxy. I'm cat sitting right now, so if you see a little gremlin running around, that's the cat I have over my place. Anyway, so Slasher Summer, what is this book about? So okay, my god. Alright, so Slasher Summer, this is about 7 friends from high school that started a horror film club together, and a famous 80s slasher, it was filmed in their town called Slasher, and they were all part of like the Shadowcast reenactment, kind of like similar to Rocky Horror. Friend group falls out, and now they're all meeting up a few years later to commemorate the club and to stay at the house where the slasher movie was filmed before it gets turned into something else. And what do you know, weird things start happening to said friend group. So yeah, it's a very interesting book right now. I don't really know if I like anybody quite yet, but there's still time. There's still time. And also, all the characters I think are named after famous horror movie characters. So I think you have your lead girl who's Carrie, obviously for reasons, and then you have characters like Jason, Freddy, Tiffany, Michael, who I think is nicknamed Mikey in this, and then I think there's like two I'm still trying to figure out. Patrick, I don't know if that's a reference to American Psycho, and then Jen, which is I think maybe a reference to Jennifer's Body. Not 100% sure per se, but yeah, again, I don't know if I really like any of the characters so far, except for Carrie, but I'm reading through it quickly. Like I said, I'm already almost at the 100-page mark, and I'm hoping to keep going with this and give you all updates when I can. I do have my haircut this afternoon, so I need to leave to do that probably like by like 2:30. So I'll bring the book with me to kind of just let myself pass by the time I don't have to scroll on my phone, and then we will go from there. I need to get breakfast on the way to work because I'm dying right now, and I swear to God, the cat keeps running around like a crazy woman. Alright, I know I sat in a spot yesterday to give an update to you, but I feel like this is probably the cleanest spot for me to do this. So, hi everyone, welcome to Saturday, and it's the first day of August. Whoop whoop. So I am now officially over the halfway point for Slasher Summer. I'm still torn about how I feel about this, and again, I'm still finding it very hard to enjoy some of the characters. There was one character I liked, but, yeah, I can't give it away without, spoilers. So, I'm gonna try to keep this video as spoiler-free as possible and just give you the vibes of what's happening. So, yeah, I made it to the halfway point. It is still picking up, and it still is a quick read. Again, it's just more of like, I'm having a hard time wanting these characters to survive and live because they are so unlikable. But I think that's what makes the story interesting, in a way, because like you do want to keep going to see what happens. Yeah, so that's my solid opinion about that right now. Let's see, what do I have going on today? So I'm actually going to be meeting up with some friends shortly to get lunch, and we're going to go shopping around in the area, and then I'm probably going to come back here and either keep reading this or I'm going to... Oh, I didn't tell you guys this. So I started watching Widow's Bay this week, so I think I'm already like 4 episodes deep into the show, and it's weird, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having a fun time. It's something different, so I'm very excited to keep going with it because I do want to finish that show. So worst case, I might save a couple episodes for tomorrow. That way I'm not overdoing it, and that way I also have time to hopefully finish this book, because I would like to have this done by Sunday so that way I can move on to our next slasher book. And I think I also saw that I have Blood on the Cottage Floor coming to me. I think it should hopefully be showing up today, if not tomorrow. And I would love to incorporate that book in this video. So either way, I will keep you all posted on my plans for reading and consuming more spooky content. But right now, I need to get my butt out the door because I need to go run a couple errands before I meet up with my friends. So let me go do that, and then we will touch base later. Hi friends, it's now later in the day on Saturday. I had a good time with my friends today. We ended up going to get tacos somewhere and then we walked around Miramar and I ended up getting a couple items from Gap. So very, very happy with my purchases. And then I did go and do a couple errands before I came back home. I made myself some dinner. I just got out of the bath, but I've been cranking my way through Slasher Summer, so I think I'm probably at like the, let me see, because like I'm like 228 pages into this. I think this is somewhere shy of 290, 300 pages. So I'm so close to the end. So I think I might just go ahead and finish this tonight. And that way I can start on my next read tomorrow. So I think it's my game plan. I'm going to probably see if I can find some good ambient music. I don't even know if ambient is a word. Anyway, some good ambience to throw on for our read, and then we will finish Slasher Summer together. Alright, hi. I literally just finished Slasher Summer a few minutes ago. Because it's so fresh in my brain right now, I think I'll just want to like get it out now before I lose it. So, this novel really went where I wasn't anticipating going, which I think made for a page turner, but I don't know how I felt about everything presented in here. And let me explain. So, in a way, reading this almost kind of reminded me of If We Were Villains by Elle Rio, where like you basically are playing like on these archetypes in slasher stories instead of it being like Shakespeare characters. But in a way, it almost kind of felt like that with these characters, that they were having so much trouble breaking out of their archetypes and they were reverting back to how they were in high school, which I don't... Okay, there's a couple things I can't tell with this. One of them being, I don't really know where the target audience was supposed to be with this novel, and then second of all, was this book meant to be satire? Because I feel like this book was meant to be satire. Because I felt like there were so many things that were being tackled, especially with like a lot of like the characterization in this. Or if it was supposed to be like satire of what was presented in 70s and 80s horror movies back in the day, that you're kind of being in conversation with those tropes and with those character types that I couldn't tell if it was, because I know I'm rambling my words here. I know it clearly says that it's a tribute to 80s slashers. It literally says it on the back of the book here, but I couldn't tell if it was mocking it or like trying to be in conversation with it to examine why certain people act the way that they do. But I think the objective to me just felt a little unclear. Yeah, the objective to me felt very unclear. And I wish that there were some parts where I needed a little bit more characterization and not so stocky in the characterization. Again, there were very good parts of this book, and I fled through it quickly, as you could see here. I really wanted better out of this, and also there were just parts that felt really off to me. Yeah, I just needed better out of this. I wanted better, and I do appreciate what the author has put together. I'll give it like a 3.5, because again, it was a page turner. It was very quick. I just don't know if it was executed the way I would have liked to have enjoyed it. So I think we're gonna leave it at that for my reading for the evening. I'm gonna probably finish up this YouTube video that I'm watching right now as like a palate cleanser, and then I will jump into the next book tomorrow when I am not riding on my feels for this. Alright, so I will check back with y'all in the morning and we will start our next book then. Alright, hello, happy Sunday. Yeah, I kind of had a health scare last night where I was starting to experience really extreme chest pain and shoulder pain, so I ended up having to go to the ER last night to get that looked at. Everything's okay with my heart. It was just, for whatever reason, I'm dealing with a lot of chest inflammation right now, so I'm trying to take today to take it easy and relax. I need to make myself some lunch in a little bit, but I figured when I'm done with lunch, I might I need to figure out which book I want to read, because something I didn't bring up last night, or maybe I kind of did with Slasher Summer, was that I was talking about like how the characters just kind of felt like so archetypal and hollow. I've seen other people saying online that some of the characters, especially like the female characters in that story, just felt really hollow and they didn't really have a lot of development and weren't allowed to be human beings, or they were just jerks. So I'm kind of contemplating whether or not I want to read Not Your Final Girl, just to kind of be a little bit more into a more feminist approach to the slasher. But I also do want to read Summer Camp for Slasher Victims. I think let me take some time to look and see what's going to probably be the better option for me, and then I will make my choice from there. But I need to get myself some food because I'm hungry. Alright, top of the morning to you, friends. I am now at page 102 of Not Your Final Girl. So I didn't realize this going in. This book is a retelling of Tess of the Dubervilles, which I think is this, it's a Victorian England book about this woman who's going through trials and tribulations, and she ends up getting raped and impregnated, child dies stillborn, and she's trying to navigate the world and the double standards that come with it. So it's a modern day retelling of this, but sort of more of the aftermath of what happened. So this has been very interesting so far. So you're getting multiple VOVs of the characters in this novel, and you have somebody in like this glass shattered mask hunting him down one by one. I think we just got to the first kill, so no, actually technically the second kill. So yeah, I'm still trying to wager through what I'm feeling for this book right now, because I am enjoying it. I am reading through it quickly. I just know that kind of like with Slasher Summer that they're all kind of like reverting back to like their archetypes or their roles in different groups. But I think this one tackles it a little bit better, I will say. So I'm excited to see where this is going to keep going and who our killers are going to be and what exactly is going on. So I need to start getting myself ready for work today, and then the little one with me is heading back home to mom and dad this morning. So I need to make sure I get everything packed up for her, so that way my parents could scooch out the door with her when they get here. So that's be my plan, and we shall continue reading when I get back home. Alright, hi, I'm about to go to bed, but I am making a lot more progress into Not Your Final Girl. I'm almost at the halfway point right now, so things are definitely picking up in this book, which is very, very, very exciting to figure out what's going to happen next. So I want to read it a little bit before I go to bed, but I wanted to provide a quick update before I crashed out, so that's it for me. Oh my god. I have this much left of Not Your Final Girl, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's all I have to say, because oh my god. I mean, this definitely went in a direction I was not anticipating, and the reveal was crazy, but I'm enjoying it. And I think this one makes a lot more sense than the reveal in... Actually, you know what? The killer reveal in Slasher Summer was not bad. I think I needed it fleshed out a little bit more, whereas I think we still have enough time to really flesh it out more here. And I think this one's a lot more compelling of a read. So, I'm trying to debate. Do I finish this tonight or do I save it for the morning? And I kind of need to figure out what I want to do. Because I've kind of been doom scrolling for like the past 30 minutes, but I really should lock in and finish this book because I only have... Let's see, I'm on page 258, and I think this book is 320 pages, so I think I have like about like 70 or so pages left of this. So I want to try my best to crank it out tonight, and if not, then I will get it done first thing in the morning. Alrighty friends, I did finish Not Your Final Girl last night, so I've been taking the morning just to kind of get some chores done around my house and get some work done for my job, but I also was kind of reflecting a little bit on my thoughts and feelings towards the book. So first of all, holy heck, this is one hell of a debut novel, and I will say it did leave me very shocked, and I thought what it was discussing in here, and especially in relation to its... Because, like I said, it was a retelling of the Dubervilles, so I thought what I was bringing up was very important conversation topics, and I thought the twists were very well done. I think the one thing that did shock me, though, was that we didn't really get to see everyone's POV. We only saw the POVs of certain characters, and I thought that element was very interesting. Because you don't really get to see all the victims before they die. Like, you just get those limited perspectives, which I think helps keep the story going because you're not so caught up. But at the same time, it would have kind of been interesting to see how everyone else's POVs, even the people who did die and didn't get their voices heard in a story. I think that would have been very interesting to have that, and I think the third act kind of did drag out a little bit, but I thought it was very well done of how it wrapped up. So I think I ended up giving this one 4 stars. So I think I enjoyed this a lot better than Slasher Summer, like I said last night. But I think still a great read, still a very quick read. So I think I do know what I want to read next. So oh my gosh. Okay, so I know I have train duty tonight, so I need something to bring with me while we have downtime. So I finally got my package in the mail for this book, and I think this might be a good one to wrap the video up on. So I think our final book for this video is going to be Blood on the Cottage Floor by Elle Keating. So I found this through Instagram. I think I saw the author post about her book online, and I was like, oh, wait, this actually sounds very interesting. I need this yesterday. So I pre-ordered myself a copy of the book, and it came to me in the mail last week, and I've been waiting for the right moment to finally pick this up. So very, very super excited to jump into this book when I get time this afternoon and this evening when I'm not working, and then to keep going with this, and very excited. Everybody. Alright, I finally started winding down for the night. I just got out of bath and put some lotion on, and I'm about to wind down for bed, but I want to give you an update before I zonked out. So I started reading Blood on the Cottage Floor this afternoon going into tonight, so I'm already about 70 pages into the book, so it's very interesting so far. So this is following a family of 5. They're all adults. They're going on their family vacation to their cottage lakeside place, and we're primarily following the main. We're following the middle child, Amelia, and her sisters, Maggie and Chloe. And somebody is stalking the family in the woods, and all the sisters have secrets. We don't know what's going on. There's potential people that could go after them in their lives. So it's very much a twisty whodunit mixed with what should eventually become a slasher. So I'm very excited to see where this goes. So I want to do my best to try to read more of this before I zonk out tonight, but I know I need to get up early because I do have a follow-up appointment with my doctor in the morning, so I need to be there at 8:40. So I'm gonna probably most likely just start getting to sleep now, so that way I can be bright and bushy-tailed, but I will bring this with me to the doctor's office so I can try to read while I'm there. So fingers crossed, and I'll see you all in the morning. Alright, I meant to give an update earlier this morning about blood on the cottage floor, but I had to get going to work, so I just got home and I'm planning to do some more reading tonight. I'm at the halfway point right now. Oh boy, this is getting intense. So, family members are disappearing and getting kidnapped into places. There may or may not be a serial killer nearby where the family's living, so that's lovely and fun. So, we're gonna have to see where this goes, but yeah, that's my update right now. I'm gonna do more reading tonight, hopefully if I can. The goal is to have this done by this weekend, so that way I can wrap up this video in a timely fashion. But yeah, that's all I've got right now, and yeah! Y'all, this book, what is going on? Oh my lord. Okay, so I literally have like almost 30 pages left. This went in a direction I didn't think it was gonna go in, and yeah, that's all I gotta say to that. So, we did find out who the killers were. We did find out kind of what was going on. The killers were kind of a little predictable, but like the reason as to why they were doing it and how they were doing it was like thrown out of left field for me. So I'm not really 100% sure how I felt about that twist and what's going on. But I do appreciate how Amelia is not willing to back down and she's willing to fight for her sisters. So I really love that mentality of the book. Again, it was just more of like the plot twist was a little out of left field. Like, wait, what? So I still need to sit with my thoughts on this. I could finish it this afternoon, but I know I am actually going to get my nails redone for my fingers. So I have that appointment within like an hour, but I know there's other stuff that I need to get done before I go to that appointment. So I think my plan is that I'm going to head out, go run my errands, get a quick lunch, and then go to my nail appointment. And then when I come back from doing my appointments, I'm going to finish this book. And we'll wrap up the video then, so stay tuned. Let's go. Alright, I finished Blood on the Cottage Floor by Elle Keating. There were parts that felt predictable, and there were other parts that felt so out of left field, like what I was explaining earlier. But I think because of the left fieldness, it felt like it kind of dragged out a bit. It could have been wrapped up a little bit quicker. But I do appreciate our lead girl's resiliency and her devotion to her sisters. And I appreciated how amazing she was. And how complex the characters were. I think I had a better time enjoying the characters in this one than I did compared to Slasher Summer. But again, it was just like the story for me itself was like, okay, like this is kind of like a little, actually not really that predictable, but like, it was predictable at the same time it wasn't. So I think with that in mind, I am unfortunately, I'm going to give this 3.5 stars out of 5, but I still do appreciate what Elle Keating put together, and I'm proud of her for being able to get this out. So my kudos to her. And with that, my wrap up of reading slasher novels, I'm just going to cap it here because I'm kind of getting burned out, to be honest. And I know I still have Summer Camp for Slasher Victims, but I think I might just pocket that for another time, either later this month or starting next summer. I've got time, but I think I just kind of need to give myself a little bit of reprieve before I go to stir crazy. But if I honestly had to rank the books that I read over the past week or so, I think I would probably say, like in ranking order, I would say top spot would be Not Your Final Girl, and then Blood on the College Floor second, and then Slasher Summer, unfortunately, at the bottom because the characters just felt so flat to me. And even though this was a quick read, I had a hard time liking anyone. So that is it. I have read my slasher novels, and now I need a change of pace and some different genre shakeup because, yeah, woo! Alright, so I think that concludes today's video. So I'm going to probably just wind down for the rest of the night and take it easy. Thank you all so much for watching this, and do the normal YouTube things you know how to do, and I will catch you at some other point in the near future. So have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you soon. Bye!